What's up, sports bettors? My name is Matt Modi. I am a betting analyst for oddsjam.com. And with the NBA seasons, coming to an end, with the NBA finals starting soon, and with a couple different tennis grand slams happening over the summer when there's no football or basketball, I figured now would be a perfect time to come out with a tennis betting strategies video. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I've bet on tennis a ton, but I actually am a huge fan of tennis. A little bit of funny background about me and my family. My mom is the tennis coach for the high school I went to. So I grew up watching a ton of tennis. I can't pretend I'm very good at it. I unfortunately didn't get those genes passed on to me. I was not coached, but I do understand how tennis works, and I do love watching tennis. And with a bunch of tournaments going on and 3 of the 4 Grand Slams being over the summer, one happening right now, the French Open, then the Wimbledon, and then after that is the US Open. I figured, like I said, now would be a perfect time to come out with a tennis betting strategies video. So before I get into it, would appreciate if you could like the video, comment on the video, let me know your thoughts, whether you hated it or not, totally fine. Just want to hear your feedback, good or bad. Then, of course, if you could subscribe to the iGM YouTube channel. Tons of helpful content on the iGM YouTube channel, whether you're a beginner or an expert. So click that subscribe button if you are not already, and it would be very beneficial to you. So I have my screen shared here to talk to you about tennis betting. Figure the easiest way to talk to you about it would just be to show you. This page I have here is just the odds screen for a tennis match. It's completely free to use. So if there's anybody that wants to follow along with what I'm doing, all you need to do is just go to oddsjam.com, sports, tennis, and then you can click into a match and you see the screens that I'm using. So the concepts behind tennis betting is pretty similar to any other type of sport like football or basketball. You're betting on the money line, or you're just betting on who you think is going to win or lose, which is what I have here. There's also the game spread, which is no longer are you betting on who you think is going to win or lose, but if you're betting on the favorite, you think they're going to win by a certain number of points. In tennis, it'd be by a certain number of games. And then if you're betting on the underdog, you either think they're going to win straight up or they're going to lose by a certain number of points/games or fewer. So in this case, Medvedev is a 5.5 game favorite here. It's kind of confusing, using games in the tennis vernacular. I'm not sure why they had it phrased so differently, so confusingly, but a game can essentially be viewed as a point in this case. So game spread, you can equate to a point spread. So Medvedev is a 5.5 quote unquote point favorite in this one. The underdog, Cilic, is a 5.5 point underdog. So essentially, if Medvedev wins by 6 games or more, he would have won this bet. If the underdog, Cilic, either wins the match outright or he loses by 5 games or fewer, then he would have won the game bet. That is essentially how the spread works. Now, there's also a total. So instead of betting on the winner or loser, you're just betting on the total number of games. So if you think it's going to be a close tennis match, you think it's going to go 5 sets, you're going to bet the over. If you think it's going to go under, if you think the favorite, the underdog, is just going to get blown out, then you would take the under. So you're not betting on a winner or loser, you're betting on the number of games. In this case, the over-under is set at 36.5. So again, if you think Medvedev versus Cilic is going to go long, you're going to bet over 36.5 games. The opposite is true for the under. If you think it's going to be a blowout, take the under. So the main difference with betting on a total in tennis versus any other sport, you're essentially betting on how close you think the match is going to be in tennis. If you think it's going to be close, you bet the over. If you think it's not, you bet the under. In any other sport, the how close the game is not equivalent to the total at all, like it is in tennis. So that is obviously a clear difference. And those are the 3 main lines. Obviously, you have some alternate lines, like you have set betting, but set betting is not very popular because there's only a finite number of sets. It's really rare to bet on the total number of sets. Like as you can see, we only have odds posted for DraftKings, and there's no alternate lines. It's just set at over under 3.5. You also have to win the first set, which is kind of popular. It's essentially like a first quarter, first half money line type thing. You're not sure if they're going to win the full game, the full match, but you think they're at least going to win the first set. Then you see like second set money line, first set total number of games, a bunch of alternate lines, stuff like that. But the main 3 in tennis betting is money line, game spread, and total. the main three like any other sport. The winner straight up, the spread, and then the total. So in terms of how strategies go, the first thing that I look at whether I want to determine whether I want to place a money line bet or not is I just want to look at what the OddsJam perfect line is pricing it at. This OddsJam line you see here is pulled from the most accurate bookmaker in the world. These are generally going to be the sharpest lines, the best lines. We view these quote unquote as the true line. So anywhere in which you are getting more favorable odds on another sports book is going to be a positive expected value bet and something that is worth taking. Now, in this specific example of Medvedev versus Cilic, there really is no bet here, right? Medvedev is priced at minus 336. All the other books have it as worse odds than this one, more unfavorable. The underdog is priced at plus 293. Same thing here. You're not getting a situation in which you're getting more favorable odds. So I would say in terms of moneyline betting, it's similar to the NBA where moneyline betting actually isn't that popular because the odds are normally so unfavorable to bet. Because like we see here, minus 350 plus 260 is not super uncommon when betting on tennis because you're betting on an individual, so there's inherent less variance associated with it. So the odds aren't going to be as favorable for the money for betting on the money line. Upsets do happen, obviously, in tennis. They happen less frequently, so the odds are always going to be heavily juiced towards the favorite. So instead, more common, people bet on a game spread or a total. Now, I love betting on game spreads. My strategy here, I have two. Number one, obviously, I'm looking for positive expected value bets. I'm looking for situations in which we're getting more favorable odds on another sports book. But I also love seeing where books price things. This one is a pretty tight market. Every book has it at minus 5.5. But I love looking at all the books and seeing if we can find any discrepancies. I actually locked a bet Medvedev minus 4.5 at minus 120 on Caesars. Unfortunately, they took it down. Now they just have it at minus 110. But I got a great value bet because you look at the odds, every other book has them priced at minus 5.5. Medvedev, I got him at minus 120 on Caesars, and that was a really valuable bet. I just love comparing the odds that you're getting it at as far as the bet goes to every other sports book. So you can kind of see whether you're getting a pricing discrepancy or not. So my biggest strategy regarding betting tennis is going to be on totals and on spreads and less so on the money line. And my logic for betting total games is the exact same. You see what the OddsJam line prices it at, you see what other books price it at, and you see if you can get in any sort of discrepancy. Now here's another example where the markets have it pretty tightly priced at 36.5 without any wavering. But if a book had it at 35.5 at minus 110 odds, that would be a really good over to take. Same thing here. If these odds were minus one of these was minus 110 instead of minus 120, that would be a really valuable bet to take. So overall, with betting on tennis, you're looking for positive expected value bets, and you're looking for examples in which you can get some sort of pricing discrepancy on another book. Now, there's a couple other smaller things that you need to be doing when betting on tennis to make sure that you can be profitable. Number one is to be signed up for every sportsbook that is available to you. The only way you can check to see if you're getting some sort of discrepancy is if you're signed up on every book. So if there's any book that you're not signed up with, I would definitely recommend doing so. And that way you can just have more examples to compare from and more places to find pricing discrepancies. On top of that, you also need to make sure that you're tracking your bets. Maybe you have some sort of edge betting on games or betting on, the total or the spread. Either way, tracking your bets and understanding where you do and don't have an edge is incredibly important. So those are two things that isn't necessarily specific to tennis, but something that you need to be doing in order to be a profitable sports bettor. It's just to be signed up for everywhere you can and to also make sure you're tracking your bets. But that's pretty much it in terms of tennis betting strategies. I don't have anything super complicated for you. It's actually not that complicated at all. All you need to be doing is making sure that you're looking at what the OddsJam perfect line prices things. Look for examples in which you're getting more favorable odds on another book. And then also scan all the books to see if you're getting some sort of discrepancy or not, and then you can take advantage of that there. So if you liked what you saw, if you're ready to start betting tennis, let me know. Again, you can hit me up in the comments. You can also hit me up at my Twitter handle that you see on the screen here. Love all the interaction I get. Other than that, would appreciate, again, if you could like the video and subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. But as far as this goes, that's all I got for you. So thanks for watching and have a good one.